bombarding manifold, which is, in our case, it's made out of Pyrex. So it's a very specialized system. And when we say bombarding, what we're doing is we're heat sterilizing the inside of the tube with thousands of volts of electricity. And we have to do this because we want to make sure that our glass tube is as clean of a vessel so that our gas remains as pure as possible. Our bombarding manifold is a vacuum system. We have our vacuum compressor down here and our vacuum gauge sensor here, which goes to our vacuum gauge right here. This is our milliometer, so we know what current we're at. And down here is a high voltage transformer. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach my unit. So I'm gonna open up my system here. So now I'm gonna cut it open right here. Now I'm gonna attach my blow hose to the system. Okay. And now I'm ready to attach the unit. So I'm gonna bring my hand torch over here and kind of get in a good alignment. Okay, so now we want to attach our high voltage wires. Just one, just two. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to safeguard the possibility of electricity arcing through tubes that are close together. We don't want that to happen because where it does that, it's gonna leave an exit hole and an entry hole, which is not gonna help us keep our gas in. So we're gonna take these pieces of mica and we're gonna put them everywhere where there might be a possibility of arcing. When we start our transformer and we start sending electricity through this, we want to make sure we're getting to the right temperature, make sure that we're, burning off what we need to inside the tube. And so that temperature is about 450 degrees, the same temperature that paper burns at. So we have like a little cup over here with some scrap paper, and I'm going to drape this over my tubing and use this as a visual indicator so that when this paper starts to char, I know that I'm in a good spot and that my tube is getting to the right temperature. It's always really finicky, it's always a little scary because a lot of things can go wrong. And as such, you can never have too many visual indicators. So I also like to use this temperature indicator, a chemical indicator called Tempelac, and this is gonna start to smoke when I reach 450 degrees. Just a little drop right there. All right. Whoa. So what we're seeing here is just the color of the air that we're breathing. And it comes out to be this kind of purple color here. We're starting to see some orange spots. That's likely some like schmutz or water vapor.
Spittle?
Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to call it. All right, so I'm gonna vacuum some of this out here. All right. Now I'm just gonna add a little bit more air into here so the electricity kind of has something to grab onto. I'm gonna start again. All right, cool. So you see my paper starting to char, my Tempelac is starting to smoke. I'm gonna vacuum some of this out. Now I'm gonna increase my current. And I'm gonna wait until my electrodes are glowing cherry red. And I want them to glow cherry red, ooh, that was fast, because there's a chemical coating on the electrodes. And when you get them cherry red, it releases the coating. And what this coating does is if there's any residual, impurities in there, any nitrogen or oxygen, it's just gonna go ahead and take care of all of that, like a little Roomba vacuum. We are now done bombarding, and now we're just vacuuming everything out. And so we're gonna wait for this to get back down to vacuum and let it cool off just a little bit before we backfill it with our gas.
Fahrenheit 451. About 450.
Yeah, same. So this is our manometer oil. It's gonna tell us how much pressure we're at. I'm gonna cut it off at 14 because I don't wanna go too far up, but I still wanna get to 21, right? So I'm gonna release this, and then we're gonna add 7 more. Now I'm gonna give it a little flash test. Should point that way. Cool. Whoa. So that looks good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and release the manifold pump valve here. And now we can take it off the system and put it on the aging transformer.
It's so crazy how much more complicated it gets once you're done bending the neon.
Yes.
Bending the neon is a third of it. Here it was like, oh my God, I'm a neon expert now.
So this is going to continue to get redder as the piece ages, and so we're going to wait for it to get like completely red. And at that point, it'll be a good time to detach it from our transformer and let it cool down, and then we'll dump our mercury in.
The fact that it's already turning blue.
Yeah. So sometimes what happens is there's a little bit of mercury in there can vaporize just a little bit, and then sometimes it'll like migrate to the other electrode or still kind of migrate in there, and that's kind of a common thing. But it is getting redder though. Cool. It is getting redder, I can see it. Look at it!
There's something about humanity that's just so attracted to like sparkly lights.
Yes!
Like glowing,
shiny things.
Shiny glowing things, yeah.
Here's our little ball of mercury. You can kind of see it right here in its little home. Now that we've aged in the neon and taken it off of the aging transformer, the electrodes have had time to cool off, so we're going to dump our mercury. We're just going to tilt it and let it kind of fall. So you can kind of see it falling there, okay? Now it's usually somewhere around the electrode. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now I want to try and get some of it off the electrode. I just want to be able to migrate it a little bit off the electrode so that when we go to age it, it's a little bit faster for us, and we can kind of spread the mercury out a little bit more to make the vaporization go a little bit faster when we're aging. So now I'm going to go ahead and take off this trap, and then we'll put it back on the aging transformer. These are the tube supports that we're going to be using to mount the unit onto the wall. They kind of look like these little Lego arms. I'm just going to kind of shimmy it on there. So once you have, established where you want these, then you're going to set it against the wall, and you're going to take a pencil and make a little mark for where you want to drill your holes. But before you actually drill your holes, you want to then take off the little tube supports because you don't want to drill your holes with the tube attached. Very risky business. Turn it facing frontwards, the leads aren't crossing. And I'm going to make a little T here and just twist it around. Do you see this little tip here? This tip is very fragile. You want to use a lot of caution when you're handling this area, because if that tip breaks or cracks, you're going to lose your gas and your unit won't light up. So yeah, you're just going to twist it around a few times after you've made your T. Twist, twist, twist. And lay it flat. It doesn't have to be too tight. You just want to make sure if anybody gives a little tug, it's not just going to come apart. Okay. And now we're going to fit this over our electrode. There's that, and then we are going to connect this one. This one gets this. And this is not, so this is the one you don't have to put on before you connect it. We're gonna connect it first, and we're just gonna kind of bend it back on itself like so. Let's get our wires out of the way here. And then we're gonna shimmy it on there. Now we need to connect the middle. So I have this piece of GTO here. That was not a good T. No, that's fine. It'll work. Now we want to protect this connection.
Ah!
Looks so good!
Oh my god. Dang.
This looks awesome. This
That was-
looks so great. You did such a great job, Zayla. I'm so impressed with you.
Oh, thank you.
Woo woo!
So Joanna's helping me tape it down to cardboard so that it doesn't break on the way home, which would be potentially the most tragic thing that could happen. And then I go home and I have to mount it. 10 out of 10. Take this class at Mona. It's so cool. Thank you so much for all your help.
Of course,
I really, really
Zayla. It
appreciate
was such a pleasure.
This
You
was
were amazing.
so fun.